Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. The sage works without attachment for the good of the world. 25th sloka. Saktaha karma vidvanso yata kurvanti bharata kuryan vidvams tasa saktaha chikirshu loka sangraham. Substance. O Arjuna, as the ignorant men work with attachment to action, so should the wise act without attachment for the welfare of the world. Commentary. The wise and the ignorant both perform work, but there is a clear difference in attitude between the two. The wise act without attachment to the fruits of work. The ignorant act with attachment to the fruits of work. The wise are not entangled in work because they have no sense of doership. The ignorant are caught in the meshes of work by thinking that they are the doers. The wise work for the welfare of the world. The ignorant work for their own satisfaction. Work is common to both, but what a world of difference in purpose and spirit. Therefore, the wise attain liberation through work, and the ignorant are bound to the wheel of birth and death. Work is like a sword. For one who knows how to use it, it is a good instrument of action. For another, it is a deadly weapon of self destruction. The wise use fire for useful purposes. The ignorant get themselves burned by it. This being so, it is essential that the seeker should understand the secret of right action, its method, attitude, and aim. The Lord says, do not be inactive. Use this great instrument of action, karma, for self-realization. Know how you should work and with what aim. He explains the method here. The principle of work is detachment. Work should be done without desire for personal enjoyment of fruits thereof and unmindful of success or failure. The common man is constantly at work, earning money with zeal and enthusiasm, building houses, purchasing lands, securing for himself and his family all the material pleasures of life. Besides, he thinks that he is the doer of all this work. But the impersonal attitude to work is Karmayoga. The wise people work with equal zeal and enthusiasm, but they know that they are only the instruments of the Lord in the service of humanity. Acting in this spirit, they attain liberation. Welfare of the world. We understand from these words that the Lord values service to humanity and other beings. It is the duty of all seekers to do what is most pleasing to the Lord. In His service, work is worship of the Lord. Any little help and service done to fellow human beings is accepted by Him as an act of devotion to Him. Bharata. The ordinary meaning of this word is one who belongs to the family of Bharata. It has a special meaning also. Bha means light. Rataha means desirous of light, spiritual illumination. The Lord addresses Arjuna as the seeker of divine light. He exhorts his disciple to dispel darkness by spiritual realization. Question. How should a wise man work? Answer. He should work in a detached spirit. Question. For what purpose? Answer. He should work for the welfare of the world. 26th sloka. Na buddhi bedam janayed agnanam karma sanginam joshayed sarva karmani vidyan yuktaha samacharan. Substance. The wise man should not disturb and confuse the minds of the ignorant attached to action. By performing all actions with yogic equanimity, they should make the ignorant do accordingly. Commentary. The Lord continues to lay stress on the duty of the wise to lead the people on the right path by a personal demonstration of Karmayoga. The Gnani, though he is individually free from all action and work, should not disturb and confuse the minds of the people by abstract doctrines and theories. He should set the example by his personal life. It is only then that people could understand the secrets of Karma Yoga. The world is action, life is action. People are acting in a variety of ways. The whole of nature is in ceaseless motion. The realized sage may understand the state of absolute stillness in the Supreme Being, but for all others, it is a theory which they do not comprehend. Several people who are religiously minded are doing worship with some faith in God in the hope of gaining some worldly good. The poor man worships God to attain some property. The sick man worships God to be relieved of pain and suffering. The householder, beset with 1,000 difficulties all around, worships God to overcome the troubles of life. All this is Sakama Karma, but he would be foolish to tell them what they are doing is wrong. Such verbal teaching makes no meaning to them. It might confuse their minds, and some of them may give up action, thinking that it is the right path. So, the wise man should be careful that his teaching does not run counter to the law of nature and human disposition. He should remain steadfast in the Atmic state, work without attachment, be equal minded under all circumstances, and emanate peace and blessedness all around him. Thus, the people would see and understand how they should work and live. It is not theory, it is direct personal example that the Lord wants the wise man Vidwan to present before the people. Anyone with a little learning of religious theory can make impressive speeches from the public platform. People may admire his eloquence and flowery flow of language, but it does not enlighten the people. Anything could be affirmed or denied by subtle argument. This leads nowhere. Instead of clarifying the position, it makes confusion worse, confounded. But real solid experience and practical living needs no argument to prove the efficacy of religious realization. When we come across a realized one who emanates peace and blessedness by his very presence, all doubts come to rest and the seeker experiences a state of mind which is an affirmation of spiritual truth. No more argumentation, speculation, theories, and dogmas and doubts. They are all gone, and people would come to know what life is in the spirit is and how to live it. That is what the Lord expects the wise man to do. Doing with equanimity. The Lord's command is that the wise man established in the self should perform work with equanimity and by his detachment, purity, peace, show the way to all. Question. How should the wise man teach the ignorant? Answer. The wise should live a pure life and work in a detached way and set an example for others to follow. The ignorant man thinks that he is a doer of action. 27th sloka. Prakrutehi kriyamanani gunaih karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. Substance. By the qualities of nature, actions are performed in all cases, but one whose mind is deluded by egoism thinks, I am the doer. Commentary. The Lord explains how action takes place. Action takes place by the power of the qualities of nature. Those qualities are sattva, rajas, and tamas. They are called the three gunas. These qualities of nature are modified into four elements: Manas, Buddhi, Chitta and Ahankara. The five subtle elements, the five organs of action, the five organs of perception, and the five objects of the senses. Thus, the human organism and the universe around are the product of nature. All actions, wherever and in whatever form they take place, are actually done by the power of the three gunas. Atma remains as an eternal, uncontaminated witness. The real man is Atma. It is the witness of the body, the internal and external organs, and the modifications of the mind. In truth, the real man is not the doer. All the actions that man apparently performs with his physical and subtle organs is the work of nature and not of the man himself in his real being. But the deluded man, having identified himself with the body, thinks, I am the doer, and so thinking, he burdens himself with the responsibility for all of them. Consequently, he has to pass through several births and suffer endless pain and sorrow. This is exactly the difference between the wise and the ignorant. The ignorant man imagines himself to be the body and thinks that he is the doer, enjoyer of all actions and the fruits thereof. The wise man separates himself from the vehicle of the body and knows that he is the self, that he is not the doer nor is the subject to the binding power of his actions. Joy and sorrow depend upon the idea of doership. If you think you are the body, you have to bear pain and grief and all the innumerable ills of life. If you think you are the self, you are at the source of all bliss. So let the seeker discriminate between the self and the non self and know his real nature. Then all he does is sublimated into the self and there remains unaffected. The secret of Karmayoga is to understand this law, how actions are performed and with what power they are performed. The Lord makes it clear that the cause of action is nature, functioning through the three gunas. One whose mind is deluded by egoism. The ignorant man is deluded by his ego and considers that he is doing this and that and all the thousand actions of bodily life. Identification with the body, Dehatma Buddhi, is the root cause of delusion. Such a man is called Vimudhatma. The wise man knows that he is the blissful and blessed Brahman. Question: how are actions performed? Answer: they are performed by the three gunas born of nature. Question: what does the ignorant man think? Answer: that he identifies himself with the gunas and thinks that he is the doer. Question: what is the effect? Answer: he is bound by the wheel of birth and death. So man should know that he is the blissful self and not the body.